Shirt Show. All right, let's go. Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Shirt, man! All right, episode 40 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Brad, Taylor, and Brandon at Independent Trading Company in California. Let's go!
Let's turn around. You can do it.
That's what she said.
All right. So I'll tell you what. Easy way. Well, I have 2 drums of 701. All right.
That's
and I'm not trying
to.
It's a lot. There's a reason behind this. So you know how 701 comes in the 5-gallon plastic things? Well, me being environmentally conscious, I ordered 2 drums. We just emptied one of them, and I want to ship them back, that drum, and have them refill it. While we have this drum, now we're working on our second drum. And anyway, while that's in transit and gone, they'll refill it, right? And then send it back to me, 0 waste. I'm sure there's something wrong with it. Tell me what.
Nothing other than the trucking back and forth.
Okay. I just thought
I like your plans.
A nice thing. And plus you receive a bit of a discount for buying bulk. Easy way.
It's the easiest way.
Yeah. Try one more time. You can do it. Ready? Easy way.
It's easy.
All right. So the next sponsor we have is Frank.
Can we get one of those like red buttons that Staples used to have and then just put Frank on it?
I've got all that. It's all coming. It's all in the works.
Right.
But yeah, Frank at GSF. That stands for Graphic Screen Fashion. He stretches screens
to perfection.
We kind of did it together. That was cool. Yeah, he's a great guy. If you have any questions about, mesh counts or thin thread versus standard thread, he's your guy for sure. Give him a call.
Or if you want to borrow any of his gauges or anything like that,
If you want to, even if you just want to wish him happy Valentine's Day.
Tell him you love him.
Yeah, he might not say it back. But
that's the integrity of the man. You know what I mean? He wouldn't just lie to my face. He had to give me the honest truth.
And he's a good listener. Like he'll listen. Mm-hmm. He's a good listener. And our other sponsor, Monarch.
They make ink.
Right. They do. Mm-hmm. And, Aaron is a great guy too. If you have questions,
they'll tell you why something works and why something doesn't work.
And why their pigments are opaque. And
as shit.
That's a good thing, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Well, what's going on today, guys?
It's working, raining.
And you're in California. It doesn't rain in California.
They said it was going to start at 10 and it started exactly at 10.
Nice. They're on their game out there. Out here, they just throw a dart at a dartboard and guess. We went to Long Beach, I think last year or the year before, and the same thing. Like it never rains out there or whatever. The day we got there, it was cold and rainy. Yeah. And I was like, cool, I'm glad I left home.
Yeah, I think we met you. Show.
Yep.
Long Beach, yep.
That's the only show we do.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's close to home and easy.
Right. Well, that makes sense. I mean, it is the logical answer.
So Independent, I heard, is a family business. So could you introduce yourselves and tell us what your roles are?
Oh, great. I'm Brad, and I started this mess. And we just started making sweatshirts, and that's what we've continued to do.
Why did you do it? Like, what made you get into that, I guess?
A long time ago. I guess we have time.
I wanted you to just say I was cold.
Okay. No, it's kind of a long story. I started selling T-shirts and sweatshirts for a distributor and hats and aprons and whatever for a company called Harry Rosenblatt and Sons in 1983. And that's kind of how it got started. And we carried a Chinese sweatshirt back then that was like way nicer than the Panil and the Hanes and the Fruit of the Loom sweatshirts that were back then. And I ended up working for that company as well, while I was also a rep for Harry Rosenblatt and Sons. And I just loved that deal. So that's how we started making sweatshirts.
That's awesome. So what about you guys?
So I'm Taylor, and I do the marketing and product development. So the website, catalog, and things like that. Any new products.
And I'm Brandon. I'm the sales manager and deal with all the reps and customer service girls and some factory stuff here and there. And
so the fun stuff.
All a pretty tight knit company. It's a lot of our employees have been here for 15 plus years, and
a lot of them over 20.
A lot of them over 20. Yeah. So it's a fun deal. It's a big family.
So Taylor, I heard you just had a little one, and are they working there yet? Or
not yet.
Instead of reading them Dr. Seuss books, we read them our catalog.
Right. You want to get it to where they memorize the item numbers.
They might be in the catalog. My daughter's 2, so she could be in our toddler stuff pretty soon here.
I've always wondered that. How do you guys go about getting like models and stuff for a catalog? Is it something you do, or do you hire it out to like an agency to take care of, or?
Yeah, I just have a couple of photographers that I use, and typically I just see what models they like to work with. And that seems to be the easiest way because they already like to work with that model, and it's just easy. I just could just send them some garments and photos.
Right. Because there are some like other manufacturers that you always see the same like 6 models, and you're just like, there's more people on this planet, I think.
What's interesting, I think, because not everybody, but a lot of them are in Southern California. So like I'll see our model like on the Adidas website, and then I'll see them, that Cuts brand or whoever. Like our models, for some reason, if they work for us, they like to check out all the other apparel brands, I think.
Nice.
Well, I'm wearing the Windbreaker quarter zip, and you could probably get a screenshot of this. And use it. It's the one that has the.
It'll help you discontinue that item.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your sales might plummet after that, but
looks good.
Hey, thank you.
So how are you guys doing with this whole COVID thing?
So far, so good. What month? The first 2 months were a little scary.
Yeah, I think it was for everybody, no matter what you were in.
We just figured if you're going to go down, we're going to go down swinging. So we started stocking up and trying to get more and just, doing our darndest. And it went pretty good.
Was that a very challenging part, is just getting actual like supplies and everything like that?
You know what? We get stuff from China, we get stuff from Pakistan, and the delay in China, because their delay was before our delay, was about equal to our 2 kind of cruddy months. I think it was March or April and May last year that were the cruddy months.
April, May.
Yeah. And so it instead of stressing about it, it just ended up being, their delay was about equal to what our delay was going to be, because those months were shy. And then every month after that, it was up, and it was a great year. It seems like all our customers, like our whole industry, as far as I could tell, did really, really well. We have more customers that have been way up all last year than that were down, because we were way up overall.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What was it for you guys?
It was about the same. I mean, me and Andy have kind of different niche markets and stuff, so we kind of could bounce things off of each other. But for me, it was most of my stuff's online, so I didn't really take too much of a hit at all. Like, if anything, we got busier in certain months because of certain shops closing down, and then we were still open. But I think the hardest thing was just getting stuff, like getting, apparel shortages and stuff like that. But I mean, that was kind of for everybody. So luckily a lot of that is kind of back now for the most part. Were you guys having like people outside, like, hoping that you would have large black hoodies in stock?
Oh, totally. It was funny because during COVID, like my dad was saying, we went big. So I had mountains of black, and like our midweight SS 4500 and all that. But with the shortages from a lot of our, competitors in the marketplace, and it was widespread with most all of them, we had the most stock until it was like November. And then it just totally got.
Right. Everybody took everything you had. Yeah.
We were rushing, every factory is full force, but on top of that, you have the port delays, were a big issue. In California, we saw containers getting delayed like up to 19 days. yeah, we did a whole bunch of crazy stuff to get product here faster and, make sure we.
Did you guys have to do anything like crazy out of the norm to get things to happen as far as like moving things and making things work?
We did a thing where since the port delays in California were so delayed, it's upwards of, we saw, 18 days, 19 days, even one was like 23 days delayed at the Port of Long Beach. We sent a lot of our Pakistan containers over to the East Coast and then unloaded them, had them loaded back on another, like a 53.
And then drove across country.
And that was faster than.
And you actually saved about 18 to 19 days before the port delays. We saved about a month there.
But it cost ate it a little bit. It cost us a little more, but we shipped more. So people.
Why was Long Beach port different than New York Harbor or wherever they go there?
Chassis shortage in California for some odd reason. I heard it had something to do with agriculture. But it was pretty crazy. Like you could go on, We All Surf, and there's a website called Surfline where it has different cameras at surf breaks. So you could see, okay, like, are the waves good? Should I go down and surf and all that? And
are there 40 container ships out beyond the surf there?
Yeah. So customers, would be freaking out like, hey, we're going to miss this program, blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, pull up Surfline, click on the Bolsa Chica cam, and your sweatshirts are sitting on one of those boats there. There's about one time there's
40 or 50 containers
still like
that. There's always some sitting out there right now.
Yeah, crazy. It's like every day it seems like there's some sort of new hurdle to get through.
Right. Yeah. Do you foresee anything new coming up, or do you think things are just going to kind of get better? And
I think the port stuff, it sounds like that should be on the mend and getting better and better. But inventory is getting better and better. The problem was we have so much product coming in every single day, tons of containers every day, but all of our product has been pre-booked, so it doesn't show unavailable to sell. But as you get to where we think we're going to have stock, things keep pre-booking out. But it's looking like, like our Black ID 4000's back in stock, SS 4500, we're getting tons and tons of containers. So we're hoping in the next.
Now you said that it was kind of like does that mean it's like for other people as far as like a certain amount's going to SNS and a certain amount's going here or whatever, and you just kind of.
Yeah, it's like it's pre-booked to, all the big brands we sell to, guys that are projecting out.
Any customer that
wants to reserve units off a future PO, they can.
So they get first come, first serve.
Well, if they write the order and say, hey, we see you got stuff coming in April on the 3rd, you've got goods arriving and if they're unspoken for, we'd like to, we'll put an order in for that.
Nice.
And so that's why historically we never pre-book anything because normally we have loads of stuff in stock. But this last year, just because of the shortages, everything gets pre-booked. And,
I guess you have minimums for that.
No minimums.
Like I can order a dozen.
Yep.
Extra large. Really?
Either I'll take it out of the future inventory.
You just can't order 1.5.
Yeah.
Unless it's a crop, that's kind of a half.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know how good you look in a crop, though. I think you should. Good looking man.
I would look excellent in a crop top, I feel like.
Yeah.
I could rep that for you guys if you want.
Yeah.
Do that dad bod. You would sell so many crop hoodies.
Yeah, dude, it's up to you.
All right, cool. We'll try it out. I guess why are you guys sticking with fleece and not offering like tees and stuff like that?
So when we first started, we didn't stock. We just made goods for like the Billabongs and mostly surf brands back then, because it was in the 80s, 90s, Stussy's and different people like that. And it's like back then we did fleece, someone else would do board shorts, someone else would do denim. So we just kind of focused on that.
Right. You had your niche markets basically.
Yeah. And we want to be really good at one thing and not be the jack of all, master of none deal.
Oh, that's smart.
And there's plenty to do with just sweatshirts.
Yeah.
And our factories are set up for fleece.
Yeah, our factories are set up for fleece too.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's kind of what I appreciate about you guys, and that's why like pretty much over the past 2 years, we've pretty much almost exclusively tried to sell independent as our go-to fleece for anything, just because of the fact that it's the point of that's what you guys do and that's what you guys are good at. That's why we get so many people that request it, is because it's what they want. You know what I mean? Like some of these, it's like all over the board of like, this never fits, or, I bought one once and it doesn't fit anymore and all this other stuff. I got really sick of that. And I was like, you know what, we're just going to offer this one brand as much. I mean, obviously somebody comes in and says they want to buy a Gildan or something. It's like, I try to sway them, but it is what it is. And then, but if somebody just says I want a hoodie, now for me, it's like the SS 4500 is like, that's what I'm going for right off the bat. But the other part of that coin is if you're not doing tees and all that stuff, do you have like the world's largest warehouse? Because hoodies take up the most space.
No, regarding the warehouse, because earlier you guys said something that is kind of funny. It was about November when all of a sudden we started running out of black hoods. And we built this thing. We've got a pretty good sized warehouse, and this whole back wall of the warehouse holds about 750,000 only black hooded sweatshirts. And I mentioned something like it's been 2.5 years since we've ran out. We try to always have enough so people can get it right now. Because I know if you guys go out and show our stuff, and then your reps or whoever, your customers buy it, and then you go to place the order and we don't have it, you hate us, right? And it sucks. So we do our best to do that. But as soon as right in November, when I said that we've been good for 2.5 years,
you jinxed it so bad.
That's when it started.
Right. And there was nothing for you to knock on right next to you to say
that the black wall was called the black wall of death is what we nicknamed it. And they're 5 deep pushbacks that are 4 pallet positions high. So when you take a pallet out, it's like a beer can at 7-Eleven, the next pallet rolls forward. And now that area is empty right now, and it's the black hole of shame.
Yeah, depressing. I walk back there and it's just terrible.
Yeah, and we don't like it at all. My friends, you should be happy, all your sweatshirts sold. But it's like, no, there's pissed off people and whatever. It's a bummer.
But it's the best pissed off situation because they're not just pissed off at you. They're pissed off at everybody.
Yeah, it was a good time for it to happen because it's like, we've got a good excuse.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, we get that, when somebody calls here and they're looking for that black hoodie and we don't have access to it. We tell them they're out of stock. Then they think they can call the next screen printer and like they'll be in stock or something, And so it doesn't work like that, obviously.
He checked every distributor pretty much in the whole world. I think it was November, and you couldn't find a medium weight or a heavyweight black hooded sweatshirt in the world for at once delivery anywhere. It's like, so we didn't feel so horrible that we were out.
Yeah.
If we had them.
No, we know. I mean, I go through that pain every day. Like I do the ordering. So, for a couple months there, it was like, I just dreaded ordering blanks every day because I would get on and it'd be like, okay, the customer wants this, look through and be like, they don't have 2X, 3X, or they don't have larges. Stock. And it's like
this warehouse, but not that warehouse.
Right. And it's just such a nightmare.
Having it in stock and saying, yep, it'll ship today complete is the best way.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy.
No, for sure. I had a question that I had to ask you from my receiving department. And I'm wondering if it's the reason is this one way, but I want to find out is why do you individually fold and bag your hoodies instead of just lumping them in,
Oh, and a 6-piece. Don't we 6-piece screen print book?
No, we used to do that. We switched to individual. Just customer requests.
Oh, and also
pulling too. Like when the warehouse is pulling the orders, we do a lot of 1-piece, 2-piece, and that makes that whole system cleaner and easier.
Well, it's like I said, if I exclusively, for the most part, try to sell independent, I always get dirty looks by shipping and receiving because it'll be an order for, like 500 black hoodies and it's 500 individually folded hoodies that they have to lay out 500 individually folded items. Yeah. So I thought it maybe because, well, that was the one thing that he said. He's like, it makes sense if they do that because it seems like you can more densely pack a box, but I don't know. I wanted to know why that was, I guess. Why are you folding?
My wish in the old country, actually in the very old country, when I first started selling them, they came in a box and then they were individually folded, but that box had 2 dozen at a 2/6-10/6 scale. And that's the only way you could get it. And so everybody bought it that way, but everybody got frustrated. You know, he liked it because it was 1 SKU for a whole color of a hood instead of 4. So that didn't work. So then we switched to, solid size, solid color in a box, 6 pieces flat folded.
Right. Well, that's what flat folded is just like, oh, nice. 6, lay it down. 6, lay it down. Now it's like unpack an individually folded item. Next individually folded item.
You prefer that, right? Both of you guys, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that buy pieces that when in our warehouse, when we have to change them from the flat fold, I'd like it if everybody bought 2 dozen boxes per size per color. Then that would be easy. Our warehouse would ship faster. Everything would be, we could probably be a little cheaper because we do less work. But we sell so many orders that have not increments of 24 of a size. And when you have to pick those, it is better that they were individually folded instead of 6-piece folded.
No, I mean, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
As far as like picking items. Yeah. We could change if we, historically, something has to kick us in the head a few times before we change something. But you guys just kicked us in the head and said you want 6-piece flat fold. That would be my preference because any big. I want to be able to say that I made independent start doing flat fold instead. So if you can make sure that the world knows that I just saved all these shipping and receiving. Right. I could get like some signed petitions if you want.
We had it that way.
We had it that way. We switched it.
We have gone back and forth a little bit on that. We were pondering because the piece pick area is hard. In the solid 2 dozen box area, the guys just go pick up pallets and take 1 box off or take the whole pallet for the big orders. And then in the piece pick, they've got to keep loading this area where the pickers pick a piece at a time. Mm-hmm. We've thought of maybe getting an automatic like folding polybagging machine. So those smaller piece pick orders would be sitting already bagged and piece picked. But when you buy by the box, you'd get them flat folded like you like them.
Right.
So you don't want a polybag single.
Yeah. But do you mostly buy in solid pack 2 dozen boxes or do you mostly buy by piece?
I mean, it depends. I'm rarely being like, I want 1 or 2 of this. It's usually just like, I have a 200 piece order and it's small through 2X or whatever. So it's not necessarily always by dozens either. It could be like, I need 7 smalls and 24 mediums and 24 larges. You never know what it's going to be. It's just whatever the customer asks for. But
can you ask your customer to order in 24 piece increments per size and color?
I'll be like, independent requested that you have to order dozens of, 2 dozen of every size.
Your receiving department would be happier.
Yeah, no, they would.
Having more customers.
Dylan, I don't think you're going to win on this one, honestly. Yeah, because
naysay.
No, I don't think, because then you're going to piss off the people who want it individually bagged, and they're going to say, why did you stop individually bagging?
But that's not me or you.
Dylan. No, they're going to say because of you. You just said you wanted it, and they're going to say, well, we changed because of Dylan and Upstate Merch. So you're going to get a bunch of hate.
Right. I'm also saving the world of more bags.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I like flat fold 4 bags per box of 6 pieces.
I like that too.
Yeah.
That could happen. We'll look at that again.
Okay, cool.
We just did it.
It can cause misships as well.
That's our problem. Would you agree that a printer of any size pretty much
wants a printer fold?
If by size they were in a screen print fold of at least 6 pieces, or sometimes when you only get 7 pieces, there's going to be a flat fold of 6, and then there's going to be an extra individual fold of that.
Yeah.
But I would imagine
my guy did the math because we get it so often. He said that he can sort a box of shirts 3 times faster if it's flat folded versus individually folded. Okay. So that was, like I said, I'm just getting the feedback from them of being like, oh, I just got 1,000 piece or 2,000 piece independent hoodie order. This is going to take me 3 days versus taking me 1 day.
Mm-hmm. Your guy's slow.
Well, I exaggerated the days, but I'm just saying like takes a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, we'll look back at that because it should be like the equation has to have something to do with us, but it should have more to do with you. So it's all about you. So we're going to work on getting those.
I'm cool with whatever. I needed something to report back and say, hey, I asked your question.
Yeah.
All right. So if Dylan's gripe was bagging, mine is going to be tearaway labels instead of the woven sewn-ins. Have you ever considered, or do you have any styles that have the tearaway? Because we do work for a couple of brands. And in fact, this is a question that, because I asked her, she was here yesterday and I said, hey, do you have any questions for independent? She goes, yeah, tearaway labels. Because with your hoodies, certain styles, I'd have to remember which ones, we retag for them. And so we end up just retagging underneath yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most have a tearaway, just the garment dyed styles, like the pigment dyes and the mineral and the tie-dye.
Wave wash.
All the women's wave wash. Since those have like a heavy garment wash,
they'd lose their labels if they did.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Because there's so much stuff happening to the hoodie.
Yeah, like because they have like a super heavy wash or.
Oh, it makes total sense.
Finished garment goes in a washing machine and gets the beat up.
Pop off.
Yeah, so every style except those has tearaway.
Yeah, those are the popular ones right now. The pigment dye and women's wave wash.
Is that the styles you had? Were they a dyed garment? I'm
going to text her right now and see if she answers. And I'm going to say, hey, which one are you talking about? So give me 1 sec.
Cut out.
Yeah, we want the brand to be the thing, not us. So whenever we can use a tearaway label in the future and starting a long time ago, we put tearaway labels. It's just in some instances you can't. No,
see, that's the thing that I like. You just answered that question perfectly, but I feel like a lot of people just don't know. You know what I mean? The printers are just like, why don't they do this? But it's like, it makes total sense when you're like, yeah, it's tumbling and they're doing all this stuff to it. And would you rather get a bunch of hoodies that don't have size labels in them because they fell out?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Another question. I think I see it right behind you. That cotton candy color.
Yeah.
It might be on that crop. She wanted to know if you're going to bring that with like some pants, a matching pant.
Yeah, we're working on it right now. I don't know if we ordered it yet, but we're thinking about adding it to the wave wash pant. And so it would be very similar. I think we're looking at in two different ways. There's the wave wash fabric, which is the PRM 20, or using the same fabric as that AFX 64 and making it in the same 210 gram.
Can we talk about matching? You said matching, and that's a dangerous word in garment dye, because we just had something going on with this. Like our pants, in pigment dye, say the pant won't match the hood exactly. It's impossible. The hood or the garment goes in a garment dyeing machine to get pigment dyed, and it's about 200 pieces go in that machine as a whole garment. And they get tumbled around, lose their label if they're not attached properly, and get a few damages, which we take out and, change. But that batch of hoods, of 200 hoods, will be all pretty dang close to each other, real close in pigment that we're talking. The pants will get dyed in another machine under the same, formula, but they'll behave differently. And so they will be slightly different. No garment dye, tie-dye or pigment dye or mineral wash are going to match. If we wanted them to match, if you guys will buy them this way, we'd put 100 pants at a certain scale in that thing and 100 tops. Then they'd match. But you'd have to buy that exactly the scale. We could make it custom for you at your scale, and it would take, 4 months. And then they'd match. But if people don't, they shouldn't wear matching sets anyways.
Well,
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I know. It doesn't mean they should.
Doing cotton candy in the PRM.
Yeah, that particular customer buys sets. Like they sell sets. Maybe that's coming back. I don't know, but
Our wave wash sets are pretty close.
Yeah, but you should say, or we try to say, each one is unique and individual as the wearer itself.
No, I like your way around it there.
They can't match unless you do it the way I mentioned. They won't. Exactly.
Right.
Well, they'll be close. And I think so far when we say they don't match, we have a jillion customers that say they do match and get on with it fine. But each one of those guys needs to get samples and make the decision for themselves and let their customers know the nature of the way it's built and that they're not exact and they shouldn't be and they won't be.
Right. Now you said that you guys started off in the like custom market as far as making stuff for certain brands and hoods. What's some of the craziest like stuff you've done custom wise?
Oh, you know what? In a sweatshirt, I think we've pretty much done every kind of different embellishment, you know, with screen prints and appliques and embroideries and anything. We've done every wash, any kind of zipper, any kind of foundry item we've done. I wish our background over here, if he can move it, he could pull some stuff. We've got a lot of just strike offs of old samples that, you know, are 15 years old and stuff. We try to keep a bunch of stuff, but we've made in fleece. There's like nowadays, if someone comes in here and thinks they usually feel pretty comfortable because if you walk around, there is that tie-dye treatment that we've done, you know, 5 years ago or 15 years ago, or there is that application. They
can find every variation.
Yeah. We've got a whole bunch of stuff here to demonstrate the different things we've done. So it's not like, okay, we'll try, it's going to be the first time. There's very few first time things in fleece that we come across anymore. Because there's just so much. When we started, I think that is kind of important. We started as making custom stuff only. And it was kind of cool because back in the 90s and stuff, that, you know, a lot of the brands we dealt with, their designers would travel all over the world and stuff, come back, and we'd get all this really bitchin', you know, new stuff that, you know, like this time of the year right now, they'd be working on fall for 2022. So we always had, and we still have a lot of great feedback from those brands for future, which I think has helped us with our stock to kind of help guide, you know, what direction we go.
Right. Now that whole process seems really intimidating to me. Like, what does it entail? Like if I came to you and was like, hey, I want to do something custom for a customer, is there like this whole process or what does it entail? It's not real hard.
Right now we have 4 production girls that if you know, you have to have your spec sheet and everything kind of dialed, but we can do a lot of that. It takes right now, because it's so busy in the world and everything's so backlogged, it takes about 5 months to do something. But you'd come up, you know, you'd go, hey, I want this black sweatshirt with this print and blah, blah, and whatever. And you'd get a strike off back in 3 weeks, and it shows, you know, you get an A and B on your 10 different colors that you want to do. So, you know, sign off on which pink you want, which purple or whatever. And then we make labels, we make all the foundry items for zippers and eyelets and buttons and all that any drawstring you want. I mean, you can make all kinds of really cool stuff, and we could maybe show some of that.
It'd be cool to show you guys around the showroom if you wanted to at the end of it.
He can walk the showroom when we're done. But you can make anything, any weight, you know, any spec. You know, if you don't like the spec, you know, you can make your spec that's tighter or looser or bigger or smaller. Or whatever.
That's crazy. So you can pretty much change anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you brought us a jacket and said, hey, I love this jacket, let's make it. You know, we do that.
That's usually how it starts. You know, there's different brands historically that, like, I remember when Lululemon first started, like all the surf brands, like, look at this Lululemon sweatshirt, you know, and they're pretty good with their stuff. So that would be a copied one for a long time. It kind of changes who the trendy one is that everybody kind of follows.
But what's cool about the custom, like you mentioned, is like we work with all these brands for custom, and then they'll either, you know, we might get some ideas like, hey, everybody's doing pigment dye right now. Everybody's doing puffy jackets, like, or a brand will say, hey, you know, I like your camos, but you got to do tiger camo. Like I think we did tiger camo for a brand. They're like, hey, if you stock that, we'd order, you know, 2,000 pieces guaranteed. So some of the colors.
I'm pretty sure I bought that for myself as soon as you guys came out with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was just one customer that said we should do tiger camo. And then I think I called him and just, if we do it, if you'll buy so many of them, I'll do it right now. So we try to, like, your flat fold deal, we will work on your flat fold deal. And stuff like that is how new things happen.
Right.
And we'll jump on stuff because the decision will get made on most things. I just got to talk to the warehouse manager on the flat fold, but a new style, right here, it's like, okay, let's do that.
Well, it's pretty awesome because you get, if you're doing the custom market, it's nice because you said it takes about, 5-6 months to produce or whatever. And they're giving you stuff like now they could be giving you stuff for their fall line or whatever. You're getting like a super heads up on like what new trends are coming out from the people who make that shit happen. So that's pretty awesome that you get that like insider knowledge before anybody else, really.
We had brown a long time ago, and it was just all the browns, all the brands were doing brown. And then, like I said about kicking us in the head, there were so many of them doing it. Finally, we just started stocking it.
They actually want it back now.
Yeah, and then a couple of years later, we had so much brown, we had to close it out, and now everybody wants brown again. So
I don't want to know what you called the brown wall.
It was the most popular color though.
Yeah, and I think just recently burgundy was one of the best colors, but burgundy kind of died all of a sudden.
Yeah, maroons dropped a little bit.
Yeah, but
I feel like maroons got really popular for a while.
Yeah, for like a year back, for 3 years, I think it was one of the second or third colors after black.
Yeah.
Yeah, navy's coming back. Is it?
Is navy? Yeah, and navy quite often is.
Navy requests.
Hurry up, let's buy it up, Andy. We got it before anybody else. Gotta get that navy.
Take a position.
They're just feeding us crappy information because they want to sell off the navy.
Yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, that mustard yellow is really flying off the shelf.
Check what we have too much of.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. So what is it, I guess, like how, because that's one thing obviously that like differs between the customer wanting certain brands. Like if they want, whatever branded t-shirt or whatever branded hoodie they want is the fit. Like, how do you initially like make your mark as like, this is the fit we're going to go with? You know what I mean? Like, do you go by what you like personally? And you're like this, originally you were like, I really like this fit. It fits my body and this is what I want to do. And your hoodies are like that from here on out? Or how do you land on that?
I think it depends on the style. Like our basic hoodies, like the 4,500 and the IND 4,000. I think the 4,000 is just, we've made small changes over the years and now people seem to like that. But like on a new style, like pigment dye or like a windbreaker, we kind of just I'll go shop around, buy some samples. And if it's like a slim fit, like our SS1000, that's the same fit as Special Blend or the AFX90 that we've done. And so for us, we have a couple fits that we kind of go with.
Right.
And something new, I'll buy, like our puffies. I bought a bunch of puffy jackets and, the ones with big baggy sleeves, we didn't look at that, but the bodies that fit perfect, we just take what we like from different things.
Get half the office to try it on, see how they like it.
Yeah, we do that too. Like we have all the people in the office is pretty good.
You hire people, so it's like this pyramid of people and body sizes, so you can use them as your models to figure out if it works.
Some guys that like baggy stuff, and some guys that want to wear their girlfriend's jeans, and then they need tighter fitting stuff, that kind of thing.
Right, that makes sense. No, I know. Like for me, like there's a company, Dixon, that I like, that I buy all the like flannels and stuff from, and it's like I was always having a really hard time finding, because I have like a really long torso and short legs. It's like I was always having a hard time finding something that was long enough for me, where it wasn't anytime I raised my arms, like my stomach would hang out and all this other stuff. And I feel like he has the same kind of body type as me, and he was like, I need to make a flannel that like fits me, and like I will never buy anything else now from that, like, because they all fit. No matter what I get, they all fit me perfectly. So I know certain t-shirt brands too. It's like, I can't wear that just because it's not long enough. And there's certain brands that are like, oh, our style is always like 2 inches longer than everybody else, or an inch longer. And it's like, I just always wondered why they make, or how they make that decision of like, we just want to be that shirt or that hoodie that's a little bit longer.
And plus you have to account for shrinkage,
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Because the reverse weave, I mean, certain weaves shrink in length, and if you reverse it, I guess it shrinks in width.
Oh yeah, that is in width, not length.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that one I think is 2 inches or 1.5 inches wider than the IND 4000. It's basically the same spec, but it's so much wider because it shrinks.
Mm-hmm. Have you used that sweatshirt?
Yeah, I memean, not extensively, but I'm familiar with it, because I always recommend when somebody has a problem with if it shrinks in length. I didn't used to know. I learned maybe it was like last year, pretty recently. Yeah, I learned pretty recently, and it was actually off of one that had it was a reverse weave, and it had it had some gussets underneath the arm, and so it would account for some of the width too. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like it had reverse weave. Yeah. So underneath the arm, it was going one direction, and then it was sewn in, like a whole chunk was sewn in on each side. And it wasn't your sweatshirt, but yeah, I think it was Champion. But that was the first time I even learned.
This way, so it's going to shrink that way, not this one that way. Yeah, he's wearing one right now. Yeah,
right.
So it just goes the wrong way.
See, that's super good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, do you only make like certain things reverse weave?
Only our IND 5000 collection.
Yeah, just the crew and the hood, and it's soon to have a pant. Which the pant will be kind of good because a sweat pant is a dangerous thing because it's so long and knits, fleece shrinks lengthwise. So if you sell it washed, then it's not dangerous. But if it's something that's going to wash, it could go that much in length, where the Legend will barely go anything in length, but it'll come in a little bit. So you got to make it a little wider. That's a lot of the spec stuff is just what fabric is it and how does it drape or fit and how does it shrink, kind of has everything to do with what you want to do with the spec.
Dylan, when a customer asks you, hey, will these shrink? What is your answer? Just curious. Because we get that question all the time.
Yeah.
Honestly, the answer I've given for years is it depends on how you do your laundry.
Yeah.
Because I always have those people that are like, I'm like, well, how do you do your laundry? Like me personally, like I'm a bigger guy. I wash everything and hang dry everything. Like all of my clothes other than like socks and underwear get hang dry. But like there's those people that just like take like a hoodie, like a fresh hoodie, and they go home, wash it, and then they throw it in the dryer on high. And then it's like, well, it went from an extra large to a large.
Yeah.
Like, so usually that's what I ask people is like, how are you doing this? But, I've never had a great answer for like, well, this brand won't shrink or this brand has a better chance of not doing that. So that's what I mean. Like over the years, we finally came across, we knew about independent, but we finally got a chance to just like really use it and really push it. And like I said, that's been the one that I've had the most luck with for printing and for just customers really liking it and being more fashion forward. So, that's what we've been pushing as much as possible.
Yeah, some garments like our AFX collection that's pre-laundered won't have as much shrink, but then like a IND 4000 will have like a 2 to 5% shrink if you wash it at the care label.
Depends how they wash it.
Yeah, if you
right, but like I said, if they just go home and throw it in the dryer with everything else on high, it's like, what do you expect is going to happen? You know what I mean?
It'll go about a ribbing's leg.
Right.
One of our, we're making a new flannel actually.
Well, as long as it's to my exact perfect specifications.
Probably by like October. I know. I was thinking. We'll send you. Do you have a size right now?
What size are you?
A 2X.
2X? Okay. We'll send you one.
Okay.
You were 2X tall.
What color do you like?
We'll send you a pink one.
Yeah. Whatever you guys aren't going to sell very much of, send to me. I don't want to make you look bad.
I should check.
Now, if you were saying a customer wanted tiger camo or whatever, and you made it, but what happens when you guys are like, we just need to come up with something new on your own? Do you have this whole big planning meeting and you weed it down to like 1 or 2 options and then you produce it? How does that work?
We're not allowed to make anything new right now.
Just black hoods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We need to make sure we have, the first thing we want to do is have what we say we have, because that's been a little difficult this year. So we need to get that all back, and we're close. I think 2 months.
I think quicker.
Somewhere in that range. We're getting better right now, but we hate not having stuff in stock. So first thing is to make sure we got that under complete control. And then he's got a list of like 20 styles that we put down, and we try to put down in priority. Like, okay, guaranteed Legend hood and Legend crew sell great, so we need a Legend pant. Okay, that's pretty slam dunk. And we also try to do styles that should last for hopefully forever, and I know we have a lot of styles that we have to be current and make new styles too, but the core of our deal, like a black hood's been our best selling style since I started.
Since the beginning of time.
Yeah. And it'll stay that way, I'm certain. So those are the kind of things we like, because then if we have too much inventory, it's okay. If we have too much of that pink shimmel you like to wear, that's a little dangerous.
Right.
All of a sudden,
with puffy shoulders.
Yeah. And the bottoms are fringed now.
Right. I just cut them off. Well, when I crop them, you know, I let the frillies hang.
Yeah.
So what's it like
how
working
long
with one another? I have that question because I know that when my kiddo was young, we loved working together. And then there was probably age 17, 18. It wasn't as fun. And then he came back around, you know? And so, did you work with your dad when you were younger? And then, or is it just, after you were out of college type of thing?
From 14 to 18 is when all of a sudden they would go down to the beach and be 500 yards down the beach from us because we just weren't cool. But then it was after 18, like you said, yours started at 17. And how long did it take?
He started when he was like 5. Mine was pretty young, but I mean, when he hit like 15, then yeah, he didn't want anything to do with it.
How long did it come back around?
I would say late, probably almost 20 for him. Yeah. And then it's like, and that's what he does now.
32. Yeah. So they just finally came back around and it's actually good.
And what's nice is like, you know, he oversees everything and brand sales manager, and then I do marketing and design. So we're kind of, you know, it's not like we're both salesmen or something. We're kind of work together and kind of separately at the same time.
Right.
Is your son working with you now?
No, he works at his mom's shop.
Okay. Because the good thing I like about it is I'm old, so the new
end of conversation.
Slow down. So the energy from the younger guys helps drive things because it needs it. You know, it takes a lot of energy.
Well, the good thing too is that being brothers and stuff, it's like if you don't like what the other department's doing or you need them to get hoodies faster so you can get a new collection out, you can go slug him and not get in trouble with you know what I mean?
No HR issues.
Right.
And now their sister works here too.
Yeah.
No slugging on the sister.
Right. It's like the sister.
Right.
So she's just trying to figure out what her way is.
Don't you just fart on the sisters? Is that what you're supposed to do?
Hold them down.
Yeah.
Spit in their face. Yeah. So what would you guys say are like your right now 2021 like top 5 items other than a black hoodie?
Oh,
top 5.
That's the first top. That's the top 5 right
Well, I knew that would have been the top.
SS 4500, you know, because that's the biggest volume. IND 4000, and then after that, which is pretty surprising, is Pigment has gone absolutely nutty. Silly. You know, so it goes.
But I think that one's definitely like a fashion-y thing right now, though, too, right?
Yeah, you know what though? Pigment, I'm happy with because when I first started, you know, in the 80s, Pigment was giant. Pigment will never go away. It's kind of cool that we finally added it because it just shows we can keep. There are some core, steady, you know, enduring styles that we can add that aren't scary. Like I don't think Pigment's scary at all. It definitely is on a roll right now, but it won't go away. It might slow down, but there's always you know, Jimmy Buffett.
We were just having that discussion the other day how like so much 80s culture is back right now. Like music, fashion, everything. It's just like nobody's even talking about it. It's just like I feel like it's in everything, TV, whatever. So whatever you did good back then, you should definitely just pull it out now. And
if it doesn't sell, we'll just sit on it for the next 15 years.
Right. 15, 20 years, it'd be fine.
Hopefully it doesn't rot. What other styles? Oh, the French Terry style.
Yeah, the SS 1000.
Oh, you said that one already.
That one's it's more like the top 8, 9.
Yeah.
The Wave Wash has gone nutty. And that's the women's California Wave Wash. That's done great. The jackets like the XP 54s, those are always always up there. Yeah, pants are up in the top 10 now, like our IND 20.
And shorts too, huh?
Yeah, kind of. It's funny. It went in waves. Like the short was better than the pant, but that was coming into spring, summer right when we brought it in. And then very quickly, once we hit wintertime, the pant just went through the roof.
Yeah, I was part of that, buying up as much as I could shorts and pants because I have one customer that they sell so many of the shorts. So for a while there when they were gone, I was like, I think I sent you guys a couple messages like, when are they coming back? But yeah, that was a rough time. But I mean, again, it's nothing on you. It's just
SF.
Yeah. So you guys were saying that you're from California, you guys surf, you go to the trade shows from California. Do you guys have plans of just getting out of California as far as like warehouses and stuff like that? Or are you planning on just keeping?
Yeah, we're building a warehouse right now in Pennsylvania. We have 2 warehouses in Pennsylvania right now. And it's about 210,000 square feet, but they're old warehouses that don't have great racking systems, and they're low, where we need high. So by September, October of this year, a brand spanking state-of-the-art warehouse will be in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. It's real similar to our Fullerton warehouse, which is about the same size, but even a little trickier with a few more pushbacks and stuff like that. Because if like I mentioned, the Black Wall of Death, it's got a 5 deep pallet positions, 5 high or 4 high in Fullerton. In Pennsylvania, it'll go 5 high, 5 deep, all along the whole perimeter walls, which will hold practically 2 million sweatshirts just in the pushbacks. So
why Pennsylvania? Is the square footage cost, is it lower than California? And
we've just been there. We've been there for 14 years, and it's a good
shipping
spot
times
for the East Coast.
The one-day shipping.
Yeah, it gets a lot of one-day shipping from there. And hopefully most of our guys that are in the warehouses now will move. I think it's 40 minutes away to where our new warehouse is being built. But we bought the land, and now we're just going through all the stuff, getting it started.
That's cool.
Better conveyor belt systems and stuff for shipping, so we're more accurate, so we don't make any boo-boos, because occasionally we make a boo-boo.
Do you guys offer like shop tours?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
How far? I mean, Pennsylvania one's not going to be that far from me. Like, it's probably just a couple hour drive.
Yeah. When it's the grand opening, you're invited.
Okay, cool. How far are you guys in California from Long Beach?
Fullerton, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah. 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Well, we should just drive out there.
That warehouse is awesome. And the Pennsylvania one's going to be even better.
And which one are you guys going to hang out then? In California and not be able to take advantage of the other?
We don't even, we're in the Fullerton warehouse every now and then back east every now and then too.
Mm-hmm.
But our office is down in San Clemente.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any like big roadblocks in your history that have kind of like been close calls or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, roadblocks like 2008, 2009, when everybody got chopped in half, we got chopped in half. That was a good one. And that taught us that stock is safer than custom, because it was interesting. After that, our custom went down quite a bit because everybody was just turned into a more at once world, and it's safer. Like if you project out what your customer is going to buy 5 months from now and have to order it now, and have it come in 5 months, you're probably going to be wrong a little bit. But if in 4.5 months you show the guy some sweatshirts and they pick the colors they want, you can just buy it and you'll have exactly what they want. Right. So stock is way safer, and for everybody, I think, because you don't need to make those long way out projections. So that's one thing that 2008 to 2009 was a biggie, but we most things that have happened, like even COVID, were weird, I guess. We kind of like when trouble happens. It
gives you time to evaluate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even when we screw up, like if we try, and historically, if we screw something up for somebody, because like right now, everything's easy if you're shipping everybody on time and, we all like each other and everything's fine. And it's easy to be good when it's good, but when it's difficult and something goes wrong and then you fix that, and the customer sees that even under, really bad situation, you did the right thing, the lasting growth of that relationship is pretty huge. So it's been good to have like just hard times and stuff are kind of.
That's a really good point. We just did we ran a store for a company, and we shipped out an item to a customer, and she says, "Oh, I actually need a medium, and this large is too big. Can you help me out?" And so we said, sure. And we shipped her a new shirt, And then she just emailed us today and she said, we got that medium and it's actually too big too. And so Bethany, she came in here and she says, what are we going to do? Do we ship her another one? And I said, yeah, I mean, we ship her another one. And so she said that, thank you so much. I know that you didn't have to do that. And I'm going to tell everybody how great you are.
Yeah.
And so, it goes a long way and just
that
make everything
bond will be there forever.
Right.
You're her favorite guy right now.
Right. Even though
until she emails you back and says that the small's too big.
Yeah.
And then you tell her she has a shrinking problem.
Yeah. You mentioned roadblocks. I just thought of one other one. This is back a ways, but in 2002, it used to be out of China, there was duty and quota. Now when we bring something in the United States, we only pay duty, and it's somewhere between 16.7 and actually it's more like between 25 and 38 because now we're adding that extra 7.5 inch or 7.5% tariff to it. But back then there was also quota that it was about $30 a dozen for a hooded sweatshirt out of China that you had to pay the Chinese government to have the right to be able to export fleece out of China. So we were paying duty and quota back then. So a lot of different people tried different areas, and we went to Burma and had a great factory in Burma, like 800 people working there, just made our stuff, and everything was great. But then our government decided in July of 2002 that we're going to embargo them because they're not being nice to I forget her name. She's still around, and there's still stuff going on there. But we had a lot of goods finished, and the administration said you have 28 days to get your goods, or they give you a month to get your goods out of Burma. And it's like, you mean to exit Burma, right? Because it takes 28 days to get here. So if you mean to land here, you're giving us 2 days warning that you're embargoing Burma.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's to land here. It needs to be here in 30 days or you're toast. And they recommended just canceling the orders. And it was from our Chinese factory that we still deal with now, and we always will. They ship the fabric to Burma because Burma doesn't knit and dye. They only cut and sew. And so they're telling us, just cancel you can't cancel the order. People would be in serious trouble if you cancel those orders. So we got there was 28 containers of goods, and we got 7 747s to fly into Rangoon.
No way.
Now, how do you make something like that happen?
It was the worst. And we were way smaller then. So it was a ginormous, it costs a lot to get 747s to fly somewhere, and you got to pay them in advance or they're not going anywhere. And then all this stuff, air freight for fleece is a horrific thing, especially in an area like that where it rains all the time. So they put the stuff out on the tarmac. They don't have indoor areas. And then the boxes get wet and get loaded on the plane. And then when we get them at Korean Air and whoever it was that we had to go to at 2:00 in the morning to go pick up the containers when they came in, they were like mush. And so stuff like that, all our reps and everybody and the kids and everybody, we'd go up in the middle of the night and go up to Korean Air and unload those containers and stuff, or not containers, the air freight. But that was a doozy, but it all worked out fine. Nightmare.
Wow.
It's crazy that stuff like that happens, this whole process that you had to go through to get that hoodie or whatever it is. And the end user has no idea. They're just I just bought this hoodie. Obviously it came perfectly from the factory to a box to me. Not this company had to steal 747s to get these packages and do all this stuff in the middle of the night and hijack these. It's they have no idea. It's such a rad story to be able to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you win though. That's such a cool story. And just like your story about how, Long Beach was taking longer to get containers. And so you went over to New York to do it, and so you always, I think that's what makes it exciting, having your own business and having, being an entrepreneur anyway. I mean, if it's the same all the time, well, that's pretty boring.
No, I think that's how they felt too. When they learned they had to get tractor trailers to go from New York to California, they were like, this is exciting.
It's like we had goods and no one else did.
Can I drive?
That kind of stuff is fun for me. I don't know. I like it. I like when there's like you just.
No,
like
it's
you said,
challenging. Yeah, I get it.
About 14 years ago, there was this, I think there was a port strike or something, but it was a big deal. All the containers were sitting off Bolsa Chica. And one of my best friends worked at Billabong, and a lot of his goods were in containers that were sitting out there. And he's a surfer. And he's going, Brad, meet me tonight. We're going to go out to the Huntington Beach Pier, and we'll drink a beer, and you can look at all your containers sitting over there. And then he goes, but remember one thing, the pier is not tall enough. If you jump, it won't kill you. But he just loved just to like twist the whole thing.
Right. Well, that's what friends do. Like, that's why I do it to Andy so much, is because I care. So what's next for you guys? What's on the ticket?
Bigger stock, more styles.
Pennsylvania, that warehouse. That's the biggest thing right now that we're working on. That'll help. That'll make things, because if you saw the Pennsylvania warehouses now, they're kind of cruel and unusual punishment, the way the guys are supposed to pick orders and make stuff happen compared to Fullerton. You know, we used to be in a horrible place in California until 3 years ago we got Fullerton. Yeah, so 3 years ago we built Fullerton, and now it ships so good. But the East Coast is like a redheaded stepchild. It ships great. It's amazing what they do in the conditions they're in.
Right. But it's just upgrades.
Pardon me?
It's just upgrades.
Yeah. Oh, it'll make it so much nicer. So we'll be able to ship faster, and we'll stock a lot more over there than we did, because I think it holds triple what the 210 holds there now. So we'll be able to stock a lot more.
Is there anything different, like technology wise, that you guys are implementing to do anything?
It's just more efficient. Like at Fullerton, it's just set up better for picking. We have a new system in the warehouse, and then just for picking pallets and piece pick. And then we're building a conveyor belt system where, you know, the orders will come to the packer and they'll double check them and then send them on this conveyor, just making it really efficient. Yeah.
A lot of things are getting smoother, faster, better.
Nice. Now, how does it work in the warehouse? Is it kind of like they just get like a scanner and a print off, and it says go to bin whatever, and they just pick certain items?
Yeah, it tells everybody. The computer knows where everything is. It used to be like Larry would go, where did we put those? You know, now the computer tells them exactly where to go, and they're always right exactly there. Always, I promise.
100% of the time.
Yeah. Well, they are. They're pretty tight.
About now, we usually talk about. We talk to a lot of shops, and when we get to this point, we usually talk about, and we ask them if they have any shop hacks. But we know you don't have a screen printing shop, that is. Instead of a shop hack, do you have any life hacks? Like some good, just general life hacks for us?
Everything's good until it's not.
And done. Just be prepared for that.
Yeah, we're pretty simple. I mean, you know, if it's like a shop hack or a, you know, business hack for us, it's easy since we are, you know, in big decisions, it's us three, that things can happen quick and efficiently, and, you know, not too much stress on it, you know, comparatively to, you know, if it's some of our competitors or whatnot. So,
I mean, that is kind of nice. Like, you think about it, there are some companies that I deal with that are like owned by, you know, boards that didn't build the company and, you know, didn't do this, but you guys are obviously passionate about what you do, and you're the ones that get to make the decisions.
Well, I imagine you guys, same thing, right? You get to make the call, and that's the deal.
Right.
And we like dealing with those kind of companies that you're like, we're dealing with you, not you're just the guy that worked for that board and you really don't have the final say. So, sorry, you got screwed.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
Does anybody on that note, has anybody come and approached you to buy you out? To buy in?
No, I think the best thing I ever heard was like an old guy told me just to buy stuff like real estate or whatever and never sell. I'm more that brain. We won't sell. Because then you'd have to listen to somebody. And we'll listen to the customers all day long, but I don't want to listen to some. We're good.
See, there's your life hack or your business hack. Yeah. We'll take that.
Yeah. So we want to hit them with quick takes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess, do you guys have any questions for us?
I'm too nervous with all the questions you've had for us.
You can ask us anything.
What styles would you guys like to see? Is there anything you want to see?
Andy, you go.
Well, they're not going to want to hear this, but I had a question in here I didn't ask. It's just like, why not t-shirts? I know you said you did a long time ago, but maybe it's margins or why not just a lot of.
Well, it's kind of like we had a good tee and customers love the tee. So they were very sad when they heard we're stopped producing it. The price was great. The fabric was good. I think a big thing for us is like, what are we passionate about? And it's hoodies and jackets and outerwear, and like Taylor made a killer new duffel bag. Like those are things that are exciting. We're on t-shirts, there's definitely obviously a big market there and it'll always be there. But in order to do it and to do it right for our customers, you have to stock incredibly deep. You have to have every color under the sun. And it's like, it'd be fun, but we'd rather focus on hoodies and, recommend different brands that people use for t-shirts. And hey, we love hoods, we love jackets, and that's kind of our deal.
It's not as easy as just being like, I want a t-shirt. Like you can't just be like, we're independent. We offer fleece and jackets, and we also offer one black men's t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. If we could make a black one and one size fits all, we'd do it.
Right.
Yeah. Cause when we had like 10 colors, but everyone was always like, oh, we'd put it in the program if you had light pink, peach and gold and, and so to compete, you'd have to have 60 colors that,
Right. And you'd have to have men's and women's sizes.
Yeah. So it's
and there's wars price wise in t-shirts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it just, we're good. We can,
I get that answer. I totally do, because people come here and they ask for like team gear, like game day stuff, official uniforms and things like that. And we don't that's not our specialty. Like we're a graphic tee company. And so we know what we like to do, and we know what we're passionate about, and we know what we do well and what we're set up for. And if that's what, it sounds like anyway, you guys do too.
Yeah.
Yep. And I
Be
think
good and focused at one thing. That's good.
Dylan?
I don't know, honestly. Like I said, I've always been in the pursuit all these years for just getting my top 5 that I want to offer every customer. You know what I mean? I always want to have the answer of like, this is what's really good right now. This always has a good fit. This has that's what I want to offer. And we just renovated and added a new office, and I'm trying to finish up our new showroom right now. And that's something that I want to talk to you guys about at some point too, is I really want to have just a display of these are, the average customer who walks in, that's a band or a company or whatever. And they're just like, I just want a really good hoodie, or I want a really good, tee or whatever. It's like, I want to be like, these are my top 5 for every category you're going to ask me for. Mm-hmm. And then that's what I want to go for. So like I said, I've always just been in that pursuit of what is the average, I guess, best for everybody, because I don't want to be like, oh, this hoodie's the best. And the only reason why I say that is because it fits me well. I want to be like, no, 95% of my customers love this item. This is the one we're going to go with. So that's kind of how I've always looked at things. I just want to have really good options for my customers. I don't want to be that all over the board of like, let me sell you the bottom of the barrel, cheapest item I can give you, because I know they're not going to be happy with it after a wash or a wear or whatever. Yeah. I'd rather be like, for 50 to 80 cents more or whatever, you can get this item and you're going to wear it until you wear the armpits out.
Yeah.
I think our market's slightly different, possibly because we always like having just a good, better, best option, because some people, well, they come in and they're not looking for the best, they want, obviously for it to be durable and for it to last, but maybe they're throwing it out at parade or something like that. You know what I mean? And so I always like having good, better, best, and you can do that within even a company, like the same company sometimes. And so
Yeah, I feel like I'm just trying to offer most of my clients, the kind of people that I get that are trying to do some kind of brand or put their name on it and be proud of it rather than something that's a giveaway. I'm trying to always do like the better best. Best, obviously, that's what I think you should go with. But if you don't have that budget, let's go with the better. Let's never even look at the good option.
Here at Upstate, we only have better and best.
Better and best.
We don't mess around with good.
Right.
I like that.
I just have good. I have better, and then I have best, and then I have go to Shirt Kong as my good option.
I mean, for the I'm going to pull that out.
All right. On that note, let's do quick takes. Okay, you starting first. Or am I? Me?
You start it. Yep.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Oh, that was easy.
That was fast. Yeah. Those were no doubters.
Nobody over there likes tea, I guess.
No decaf around here.
Best recent read.
Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. That's my last one I read. It was good, actually. Got me pumped.
I saw there was a Netflix, I think, special with, I don't know if anybody caught it. It was really good.
Yeah.
Was it Tony Robbins?
Mm-hmm, yeah. It wasn't about that book, but it was just about Tony Robbins. It was like a documentary. It followed him behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called.
Kind of just hypes you up. I don't know if it was all that useful, but it just got you amped.
I don't know anything about Tony Robbins other than people. He's like the god of like motivational speaking, I'm guessing.
Right.
Does he just like run out on stage and do like cartwheels and shit?
No. Although that'd be good.
From the book, I haven't really watched it. There's definitely like cartwheels and get you all jacked up.
All right. I got next one. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self? Just stick to hoodies?
Surf more?
Myself.
Definitely just
Hoodies is a good one.
Stick to hoodies. Yeah. We for a while we ran a company called Riviera. We made stand-up boards, and that's what they did before they came here. And we realized why we were doing that. It was a super fun business, but it wasn't a good business. We should just stick to hoodies.
Yeah, your stick to hoodies thing's perfect. Yeah. I ran around the U.S. all over telling the surf shops and kayak guys and all that. And I think if I knew then to I think that was good. Put all the focus on hoodies.
Yeah, no, it was a great. Yeah, it was better than college. Probably cost us a little more because the business lost some money, but I think it was as good as college.
Yeah, we learned a lot because
I used to sell boards to the Finger Lakes up in upstate.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the shop there, but yeah.
Wet Mitten?
No, it wasn't Wet Mitten. They were in Michigan.
What's the most California thing you do?
Surfing.
Yes, sir.
You guys are all still surfing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much for me, but I still do a little bit.
No, we do surf and tow surf with the jet skis. So we go out to there's some outer islands to go get some bigger stuff and
nice.
Their deals.
Can Dylan and I get some lessons?
Yeah.
I won't go in the water.
You won't?
I won't go in the ocean. I'm not an ocean guy.
Well, you can learn to surf like on the beach. She'll just stand on the board.
I'm that guy, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm that guy who watched way too many shark movies as a kid, and I will not get in the water.
Yeah, I'll put some seal's blood in your wetsuit.
All right, let's do it.
Deterrent.
Right, I could just punch them in the face and they'll go away, right?
Yeah, and the nose.
I've seen a lot of movies where they kill them too, so I could probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Dylan, if you're going to be in the Wild Boys, you're going to have to get in the water.
Oh,
so
I know.
It's going to happen. So he'll do it. I'll talk him into it.
I feel like question. I went to North Carolina once. We used to go like every year and we would go to the beach and I would just sit on the beach. But one time I was like, all right, fine. I'll just go out in the water. I think I went out to like chest deep and something swam by me and it was like the cartoons where my body came out of the water and I ran on the water and like ran back to beach. And that was the last time.
Yeah. That's scary stuff.
What would you say is the best lesson running your business has taught you?
Be patient. Probably for me.
I know mine would be that in not so much recently, but a while, every year there's always, back then, seemed like there'd be someone new that wanted to work us and like was going to take over, the area we were in or whatever. And they would always do it thinking about money. And they'd all disappear. And it's, I think when we started, we did it to just make good sweatshirts, or hopefully the best sweatshirts. Right. And that was the focus, and to do that. And then it seems like if you do a good job, then the rest will hopefully follow. But if you go after it for the wrong reason, that doesn't work so good.
Yeah.
That'd be mine.
That's very similar to us with like screen printing. Is like people are always like, "Oh, I want to start a screen printing business." I'm like, "Well, don't get into it if you're trying to get rich."
Yeah.
That's not the game. Like if you try to just pursue money all the time, it's not going to happen.
After 2008, 2009, I think a lot of the surf industry, it was interesting. Like all of a sudden they wanted to build things and like, "Hey, can you get us the cheapest, shittiest fabric you can find?" Cause it's for this closeout thing and it needs to only be $7 or whatever. And it was like, wait, you became a good company because you built really great stuff. And, that's what your deal was. And now you're a publicly traded company that needs to, perform. And so you're going after margin, not good stuff anymore. And it just was like, all right, that's the end of that. And you can see what happened to a lot of those guys. They're not here anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, yeah. What's yours?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mine, I always say slow down because, I don't know. I mean, I always wanted to be, the biggest or the largest screen printer in the world or the country or whatever. And, that when I was younger, that was like one of my goals. Is like, that'd be really cool. Right. Well, I reached a certain point and I realized that's not what it was about for me. I wasn't any happier, as I got bigger, let's say. And so I was like, okay, well, I reached a spot where I'm happy. I don't need, like right now, I don't want to be bigger, if that makes sense. And so
that's good.
Bigger isn't better. And
a lot of times you can't respond the way you can if at a better size.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just like learning, in the beginning, you're just starting a business. You don't have a ton of employees. You're trying to just like grow it just because this is your new pursuit. It's a new fun thing. It's like a video game. It's like leveling up or whatever, but you get to a certain point where you have, you've been in it for years and you have staff that have been there for years and everything else. And you learn it's not about the business and getting money, but it's about the people and like supporting my staff and doing fun stuff with them. And, I don't look at it as like, this are my employees and I'm their boss. It's like, we just come here every day. We do fun stuff. We make rad prints and we do, stuff that we really like. To me, it's about the craft and about hanging out with my friends and doing stuff. So it's nice to just be able to be like, we are a big enough shop where we have enough work to do and we can keep doing this every day. I'm not looking at it as like, how do I make this harder for myself? How do I grow and do this other thing? It's like, I'm happy with where I'm at.
Yeah. I measured, to that point, I measured success differently. I used to measure it by total revenue, and that's not what's important. So success is a totally different thing for me now.
Yeah,
for sure. So
bringing us to our next question, do you guys have any irrational fears?
Besides sharks. That's a rational fear, though, not irrational. That's a fear. That's a real fear. Right?
Well, probably not for these guys who have been there their whole life. For us, it's like...
that could be a fear. Definitely. Yeah, sharks are scary.
I just have rational fears about certain garments going out of style or something like that.
Keeps him up at night. And you're like, no.
It goes out of style.
He's getting beat up by like a SS 4500 large. Pulls the drawstrings on the hood and it's closing in on him.
I can't think of one.
So sharks and black hoodies. Okay, next question.
Probably lavender hoodies, not black. Yeah, lavender's good right now, but black's always good.
Yeah, lavender's good. Let's keep pushing that.
All of these colors are
Lavender,
amazing.
blue aqua, light yellow, even peach is still doing good.
Yeah. It's funny.
A lot of like Instagram influencers.
Do you guys deal with a lot of the Instagram influencer guys?
Some of them.
Yeah,
I do a lot of like the, comedians and people like that are all working that market now. YouTubers, stuff like that.
Yeah, interesting.
All right. Next question is, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
Probably fishing.
You'd be fishing, yeah.
What do you fish for?
I like tuna. Probably mostly tuna.
That is something like I don't want to go in the water, but I've always wanted to reel in like a massive fish on the ocean.
When you come to Long Beach, between August and October this year.
All right. So I heard go to Long Beach, hang out, do shop tour, catch big ass fish in the ocean. That's all I heard.
Yeah, you skipped the learn to surf part. And you probably did that on purpose, but you missed that part.
I can't stand on flat ground without falling over.
You can learn to surf pretty easy. This is years back. And most of them couldn't even swim. And we actually, there's a little place called Doheny just down from here. And the waves were, that big, like ankle, knee high. And we put them on gigantic stand-up boards and launched them from one of us inside and another guy would be waiting. And they all could stand up because the boards are so big. And there's no sharks around there. And actually one girl fell in about maybe waist deep water and panicked so much she almost drowned, even though all she had to do was put her feet down. But they're terrified mostly of water, the people that we taught to surf, but they did good.
Awesome. It was a team building exercise.
Yeah.
What would you guys say is your spirit animal? I don't know why this question is in there, Andy.
It was left over from the last one. But
we should have asked him the boy band question.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Let's skip that one. What would your guys' boy band name be for the three of you?
We wouldn't have one.
No, definitely not the boy band type. When I was younger, though, I had long hair, and one of my dad's friends used to call me how many Beatles were there?
Oh,
there was 4, right?
That you were the 5th Beatle.
I was the 5th Beatle.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you guys doing this with us. I mean, you guys are a company we've really been wanting to talk to.
This is the first time we've ever done this.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's fun. We thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no, we're happy to have you. And like I said, we love your stuff. So keep doing what you're doing. Just make sure it's in stock, please.
And flat folded. In stock and flat folded.
In stock, flat folded. Right.
Tearaway Labels.
Tearaway Labels. Except for the dyed stuff. Not on the dyed stuff.
Right. All right.
Anything else, like a color or a fit comment,
always hit us up.
We always want to hear that stuff. Because we'll change. Certain things you can't change right away because there's so much of it in stock. It is what it is. But the future of that can change when there's enough comment.
I think me and Andy will have to take you guys up on that shop tour next time we're out.
That'd be awesome. A shop tour and fishing trip.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
All right, deal.
You guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll catch you later.
Okie dokie. Thank you guys.
See you guys.
Thanks. Yeah. See you later.
Thanks.